What is up, Goat World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you with another Goatformat video. Week 2 of the Goatformat Warleague has concluded, and it was a very exciting week, just like week 1. We did not lose any momentum going from week 1 to week 2. A lot of great games, a lot of great dueling. With me, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Moxies, and we're just gonna do a quick recap to talk about week 2, some of the things that happened, and some things to look forward to going into week 3. What do you say about week 2, Moxies? How do you feel that whole thing went down?
Like the week 1 was like crazy. There's upsets here. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. But week 2 was a bit more standard for getting back on track.
Absolutely, I would agree. I think going from week 1 to week 2, I think things kind of settled a little bit, and some of those top dogs realized that, hey, these newcomers are here to play, and they kind of brought their A game this time. So not nearly as many upsets. And the things kind of happened the way you thought they would, but there was still some great matches that took place. All right, so first match we're going to talk about, we got Team Sweep versus Team Rampage, with Team Sweep taking the victory 4-1 over Team Rampage. I thought that one was a little surprising. Kind of figured it was a coin flip. Rampage or Sweep could take it, but Sweep coming out with a 4-1 victory over Team Rampage, I thought that was a little surprising, with Ghost Rider taking out James Ark. What do you think about that one, Moxie?
I mean, I think I said last week it was a coin flip. It ended up being 4-1, but a lot of the games were pretty close. Like, they're all 2-1 close games. Kind of whatever. The James Ark Ghost Rider game, though, was probably the best game that I could clearly remember it being a very interesting game to watch. It probably wasn't very interesting to play, or it was pretty annoying to play. But from a viewer perspective, it was a pretty interesting game.
There was a little controversy in the KP versus John Wick game. I don't want to get too much into it, but you know, there was something that happened in that game, and that's something we're gonna kind of keep our eyes on going forward in the next weeks. You know, no disrespect to anybody, but going on, we got LRG versus Team Rampage HK.
I mean, it ended 3-2, so it technically was like super close.
Right.
We ended up getting the win, you know, like multiple days ago, and then earlier today, Mark lost to Trishula, but we kind of knew going into it was going to be tough. We kind of metagamed a bit with our decks. I'm not going to say too much about it, but there were some certain items that we decided to play together as a team. Worked out pretty well, to be honest. The WGM yada yada game was pretty.
That was a good game.
Pretty minus game 3, where WGM just kind of had the cards and he kind of just steamrolled, snowballed. But the other 2 games were pretty crazy. Game 1 specifically was very interesting to watch. After like yada yada opened absolutely insane, and then like a random zing out of nowhere, that ended up getting solemn to put yada yada into a position where he can get beat down, and then some nice draws from WGM ended up stealing it, so it was pretty good. And even the Ivan Rosita's SDL killer game was like hella close. Like at one point, SDL killer could have won 2-0 if a breaker would have hit a certain card instead of a certain other card. So like I said, I think we all decided that it was a coin flip matchup, and it ended up being super close. It's nice to see that you know, because we were talking, you know, Insidious was talking, you know, like what happened to Sweep. You know, LRG got smoked. Rampage looks insane because they 10-0'd week 1, and this is what I mean with a little bit of normalization here at the end. Not that Rampage, either of them are anywhere worse than Sweep or LG. It was more just like now all 4 of these teams, which most people would consider the top 4 teams, they've just all beaten each other. They're all 1-1 now. It was good, yeah. Right.
So we got a full bracket reset. There is only the 2 undefeated teams remaining. The first of which we'll talk about next. We got 5 guys, 1 Kuru, continuing their completely undefeated streak as of the recording of this video. 5 guys, 1 Kuru have not suffered 1 defeat. They have been steamrolling so far, with 1 game left to be played this week with Bobby Buckets versus Glifford. I'm very surprised. I think they are far more talented than I had given them credit for. Shout out to 5 guys, 1 Kuru for playing as well as they have been. But I would call into question some of the competition level that they have faced. They have not faced the top team thus far going to the season, and I'm going to keep my eye on them. I'm fully bought in. I believe in 5 guys, 1 Kuru, but I haven't been completely sold yet. I'm reserving. I'm holding on to my receipt. I don't know if that's offensive, but Max, what do you think about that? Five Guys One Crew in their streak so far.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. So on one side, I think 9-0 against anybody in Goatformat, like as a team, is pretty good, even if they're considered worse players, quote unquote, or worse teams, or having a rough start to the season.
Right.
9-0 is pretty crazy. And then you can also say that some of the players on Five Guys One Crew, it's not like they're world beater players. So in general, going 9-0 is pretty good, and there's even a good chance of 10-0. But the counter argument is Bad Bones and We Love CC Kochi right now are the two bottom teams in the league. They have two of the worst stats that you can have as teams. So they're both 0-2. They're like 14th and 15th ranked team. So I need to see Five Guys, play someone a little bit higher up. I think in week 3 they have Ultra Instinct. They have you guys.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be a good test. You guys came off of a very nice week 2 win, so that'll be a good test for both of the teams. So I'll be able to see more from that.
I'm looking forward to it. I expect a very tight, very close match. I'm not sleeping on Five Guys One Crew, but I think that they have a lot more to prove, and I'm sure they're willing to take me up on that challenge. We Love CC, the We Love CC team. I don't know what they got going on, but they need to. I think they need to get off of the whole emissary stuff.
Normal monster.
Let all that go. I think a lot of people are starting to figure that whole thing out, especially when a lot of guys are taking the same stuff. Let's get some W's on the board. You guys are I know they're better players than that on those teams, and they just need to show that, because that's not how you do it. But we're going to move right over to the next undefeated team. We got the Rising Sun. The Rising Suns are also undefeated, coming in at 2-0 as well after beating the Chaos Kings. I thought this was very surprising. Now, in the inverse of Five Guys One Crew, I feel about the Rising Suns. I believe this team is, and I said it yesterday, I think this is a sleeper team that can really make some noise. They have a lot of players who play a whole lot on the ladder, consummate people that are crushing, and I think they can really shock a lot of people. And I didn't see them beating the Chaos Kings as they did. What do you think about the Rising Suns and the Chaos Kings, Max?
That was a close match too. It was 3-2. The games were pretty close too. It was actually, I was surprised, to be honest. Like after Chaos Kings beating sweep, they stuck to the same 5, and I was like, you know what? I'll be honest. I think they're gonna, smoke Rising Suns. And then Rising Suns came out of nowhere, and they showed us, we're around. We're here to play. We aren't just a team that's just gonna beat bad teams and lose to the better teams. We're here to play, and they showed it, and it was good games. Yeah,
it was. So we have Solitaire versus Team Damage Step, and that was a really close one. And I love to see there was a little bit of rivalry, like I mentioned in the previous video, with Damage Step and Solitaire, and seeing that come down to a 2-2 split with a Game 5 on the line, and Damage Step securing their first victory of the season. I thought it was a very, very good match. Shout out to both of those teams. Still a lot to be seen. I think Damage Step has something to build on. I think Solitaire obviously is going to take this loss in stride, and they're going to continue to build as well. Two teams I think that have still playoff potential. I believe in both of those teams.
This was probably my favorite matchup of the week, just because
Absolutely.
There's a lot of words being spoken from both teams about each other. There's even our first prearranged match between Insidious and Flocky. So there was some battle. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's just having some fun with some shit talk. But it was a hyped up quote unquote matchup, and it showed. It got pretty dicey there. It looked like Solitaire was up 2-1, and then there's Fancy Diesel and Soul ended up clutching up for their teams and getting some wins in there, and it was good. The matches were all like, they
were so good,
pretty good. So yeah, that was I enjoyed that, and Damage Step kind of needed that. They don't want to be the team that wants to be 0-2 to start the season. Be the laughing stock. Everyone makes fun of them.
Right.
And then same as Solitaire. It's they were trying to prove that week 1 wasn't just a fluke, and they ended up not doing it. And they were talking a lot of words. We're the guys. We're taking over the format. Blah blah blah. Right. And they got worked. And now they got to come back and think like, hey, like this isn't gonna be a cakewalk for us.
Right. And I think they can do that. I still think they got a little chip on their shoulder. I think they still got something to prove, and they're going to continue to do that as the week goes forward, as the weeks continue to progress. Then we move over to the free agents versus the Ultra Instinct Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling team. That's my team. We came out, Crash Volt came out and took an early loss, and you know, we kind of we just locked in. We're like, hey, you know what? We're not going to go down 0-2, just like Moxie just mentioned. Being 0-2 to start the season is something that you really don't want to do. So everyone came together and we're like, hey, we're not about to lose anymore, and we went on a streak and kind of cleaned it up to 1-4. I know Crash Volt, he's been in the lab, he's been working, and he has definitely got a vendetta. So I would look out for Crash Volt going forward in the rest of this. Yeah, we got the 4-1, and I thought we did it in relatively convincing fashion afterwards.
Yeah, I do. I do think Crash Volt got paired against probably free agent's best player, which is Dante Beatrice, or at least he's shown that he's the best player so far. So that's fine. That's not a problem. But yeah, the rest of this is why we have a team event. The rest of you guys showed up. You played clean. There was a bunch of 2-0s. I'm pretty sure AJ, Husan, yourself, and Gaia all 2-0'd each of their games.
Right.
And then Gib Nation won his game. Yeah, honestly, most of the games to me felt like they were pretty much in your favor the whole time. The only dicey part is I think game 1 of your match versus Paolo, there was an interesting morphing jar play that came up that for a second there, I was like, whoa, is this guy just going to absolutely blow you out? But you were able to grind it through and then get the win. And then game 2, you were able to just get the win. So a little bit more one-sided other than that first match, but it was good for your team because, like you said before, you didn't want to be 0-2. You're trying to show you're a competitive team, and week 1 isn't going to define your season. And for free agents, they're just grinding. I don't see any reason why they can't just come up next week and do their thing.
Big shout out to the free agents. I think they all played well. They all showed up, and they all did what they had to do. And I think anyone can turn it around. This is still anyone's league. It's very, very early in the season. So then shifting over, we have the Battle of the Cemetery with Bad Bones and Beam Tones. That one I think went pretty much exactly the way that we thought it would go as well. With Bad Bones, the main unit, kind of just stomping on their sister unit there, winning with a 4-1 victory. I thought it was some good games. There was a lot of close games, a little closer than I thought it would be, but I still predicted that Bad Bones would clean up Beam Tones.
I mean, if I'm completely honest, I didn't watch a lot of these replays just because a lot of the games were EU versus EU, and they were in times that were not good for me. So I never actually ended up watching them. So all I can really say is I did watch Not So Fast and Shifty just because Not So Fast was on a crazy deck, so I did watch that replay. So that game was pretty interesting, and Not So Fast deck was on some like a dark Necrophore Fiend deck, and honestly, it got pretty dicey there for a sec. A couple plays here and there for either of the players, and Not So Fast could have won. But yeah, other than that, I didn't really watch too much. I watched Gaudette, get a close win against the Nano. I did expect Bad Bones to win, so it's nothing super crazy for me.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And again, like I said, I want Beam Tones, and Jinzo Dude 9 I think is one of their stronger players, and him not being in the lineup I thought was an interesting choice. I don't know what's going on with their management and everything like that, but I think you gotta get Jinzo Dude in there. You gotta get him some reps. I don't know how they manage their stuff, but that's just my an opinion of one. But then we finally wrapped the week up with the Enraged Pandas, kind of just really bringing it to the core men, taking them down in pretty convincing fashion as well. I bought a lot of Corman stock, and I'm still hanging on to it. But I think the Enraged Pandas really had something to prove based on how week 1 went and how they were upset so convincingly. They want to come back and kind of rectify that. So big convincing win for the Enraged Pandas.
Yeah, it was 4-1. Enraged Pandas kind of needed this because week 1 was kind of a blowout, to be honest. They kind of got wrecked by Solitaire, so they think a lot of us think they're a top team, so they really didn't want to be in the O2. So they pounded the core men pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they probably had their team chat in the same. They were like, "Hey, we lost, and we're going to show the world that was a mistake." And the core men just so happened to be their victims, So I didn't want to be them, and we'll see. It can continue to go on as the weeks go. So that was pretty much a wrap up of how all the games went. Make sure you go ahead and jump into the comment section and tell me what you think about What was your favorite match? What was your favorite team? Let us know as we continue to do these videos. We'll try to get one out every week. So right now, the unconfirmed power standings, we got Five Guys, One Kuru, Rising Suns, Rampage HK, Sweep OD, and Rampage, the Rampage main unit, and Team Solitaire are the 6 teams that are currently in the playoff positions based on point differential and score and record. So that's where it is right now, but that will fluctuate every week as it goes along. So plenty of games left, plenty of weeks left, plenty of stuff left to explore. Moving on. So the next week's schedule is going to be this. Here is the next week's schedule, and we'll just kind of do a quick rundown of what we think the game's going to be. So we got Solitaire taking on Beam Tones, the second team unit for the Team Bones. I'm picking Solitaire. I'm buying a lot of Solitaire stock. I think Beam Tones, they need to figure some more stuff out. I don't know what's going on with their manning and their roster situation, but I'm picking Solitaire over Beam Tones to take that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Solitaire is the favorite for me.
And then we go to the Enraged Pandas versus Bad Bones. This is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a interesting match. I think Bad Bones is going to go into the side decks, go and bring the right stuff, but I still think the Enraged Pandas are going to clutch it out and take a victory from the Bad Bones team. That's just me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, this one's a little closer to me. I'm not quite sure. I'm leaning towards the Enraged Pandas, but I could see it going either way. And both teams are going to want this win bad to kind of showcase that they're better than the team that they're playing. You know, like a tier ahead of them. So plus 2-1 versus 1-2 is pretty significant. But I'm going to choose Enraged Pandas.
Enraged Pandas, okay. Then we got the free agents over the Core Men. I think the Core Men are going to pick take that loss they took from Enrage and stride, and they're going to turn a new leaf, and I think they overcome the free agents. Although the free agents did bring a lot of alt win stuff last week against us. Maybe they'll get into the film room and do that again. And alt win, anything can go with Burn. So I'm leaning towards the Core Men going into week 3. Anything for?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Illiterus too. I'm going to say they're going to win. But this game, depending on who plays in the lineups and the matchups, it could just be a fuck fest, to be honest. This has potential to be have some absolutely insane games. So I'm looking forward to this matchup.
I'll see that. All right, so we got Five Guys, One Kuru versus the Ultra Instinct Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling Team. What do you think about that one, Moxie? Just be. You don't gotta lie to kick it. Just be straight up, man. I can take it.
I'm gonna lean towards Five Guys, One Crew.
Okay.
They showed me too much.
Okay.
Even though I have Ultra Instinct in my power rankings ahead of them, I can't really bet against the team that's 9-0 right now. They're just on fire, and I'm gonna ride the wave. And they're also a subsidiary of LRG, and we've been working close with them to get them up to par, up to standard, and. Yeah, I'm going to say my little bit of biasism is going to lead me towards Five Guys, One Crew winning.
You know what? Five Guys, One Crew have, I mean, as an unbiased player, I would say Five Guys, One Crew would have a lot of my favorite players. Bobby Buckets. You know, I believe in Buckets. I believe in Bobby a lot.
Yes.
One of my favorite players. But I'm telling you right now, if you're a part of what we got going on over in Ultra Instinct, I feel I don't see Five Guys, One Crew winning that. I think we're going to do everything we can to walk away with a victory. But anything can happen in these games, as you know. I'm not taking no disrespect to Five Guys, One Crew. I have huge respect to what they're doing, but I'm telling you, I don't want to be them next week because we're going to bring everything we got to ensure that we can continue our momentum and keep victory. I think AJ is super hot. I think Gibbs is super hot. I think Indoors, myself, Shaggy. I think Crash Volt has really got something he wants to prove. He's got some vendetta he's got to get off his chest. Gia 76 obviously is a known assassin. It's going to be a long day for Five Guys, One Kuru, and I'm looking forward to next week. Lifted Research Group versus the We Love CC team. I'm a pick. I got to pick. I think I'm going to take the safe bet and go LRG, cleaning up the We Love CC team. Unless the We Love CC team just decides to put the emissary stuff up, put it away, get it out of here. It ain't working right now. Get it out of here. I think Snatch Deal 92 or Snatch Deal and I Love CC. I think they need to whip those dudes into shape and tell them to and figure this thing out. And I think that would be the upset of the season if they can manage a victory over LRG, but it's going to be a very, very difficult thing to do for them. And I'm certain you would agree with me, Moxies, on this take.
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards my team winning pretty convincingly. But I will say this league's kind of shown that some crazy shit can happen. So I'm not going to just go out there and say we're going to 5-0 them or anything. We could end up winning 3-2. I'll just take a win.
Yeah.
But there's not really a lot more I can really say. They're kind of been showcased. Like they've been playing some whack decks that aren't very good, or at least they haven't shown to be very good. And my team is pretty hungry to start climbing back up there to the top of the rankings. So I'd be very surprised if we lost.
All right, then we get into the heat. I think these last 3 games we're going to talk about are the cream of the crop going into next week. Starting with the Rising Suns versus Rampage HK. I think that's going to be a slugfest. I really want to pick Rampage because they are the premier team. They are blue blood team. But this Rising Sun team, I am bullish on the Rising Suns. I think they play a lot. And I think they are going to be prepared for the 2 matchups that they are most likely to face, being Warrior and Chaos Turbo. It's going to be 3-2. And I think I got
3-2.
I'm calling 3-2, and I'm leaning towards Rampage, but it can go either way. I'm gonna say that's going to be a close 2-2, grindy, 1-1, 2-2, and it's going to go game 3 to decide it. I think is what I'm calling for the Rising Suns over HK, or with HK taking out the Rising Sun.
Slightly more to the opposite. To be honest, I think Rising Sun's got to show me more than that, and beating Rampage HK would definitely show me that. I'm still going to lean towards HK though, and they convincingly won week 1. They barely by the skin of their teeth lost week 2 to my team. I still think they're ahead of Rising Suns. But to be fair, if Rising Suns can, they did beat Chaos Kings, and if they show up this week against Rampage, even if they lose 3-2, they're definitely solidifying themselves as a team to pay attention to. So
I would agree. I mean, like I said, no disrespect to Rampage. I know that they are in fact one of the top teams in this league, but I am very, very bullish on the Rising Suns, and I've seen it firsthand. Maybe it's because they beat us, and I see what they're capable of, and a lot of people may not be watching out for the Rising Suns. And then we go over to the Rampage main unit and the Chaos Kings. This is going to be another extremely close, extremely high level game or high level match. What do you think about this one, Moxie?
This game is interesting to me because Chaos Kings is. They're kind of, I don't know right now. The beat sweep looked incredible, and they kind of didn't look as good against Rising Suns. Rampage, they destroyed week 1 and then lost decently, convincingly to sweep. I'm still gonna lean towards Rampage winning this, but it's one of those matches where if Chaos Kings, I don't think it's a coin flip either. I think Rampage is just the better team. But if Chaos Kings wins, I'm not going to go, well, what the hell was that? It'll just be like, yeah, okay, they won. They've shown it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another very, very grindy match. It may come down to a game or 2 or a match or 2 to kind of really pick who's gonna take it. I think it's gonna be super, super close. But I think I might be leaning towards Rampage on this one. But again, it could be either way. Really close. And then we're going to wrap it up with Damage Step taking on Sweep OD. Man, this one's going to. I don't even know. I don't know what to make of this one. I think Damage Step obviously are going to want to prove themselves. This is going to be a very, very tough battle for them to play. But I think they have the. I don't know what's going on with their roster. I don't know what's going on with their team chemistry. I don't know if something's missing, but I know that Soul is ready to play. I know Fancy Diesel is ready to play. I know Insidious is ready to play. Template, they have the unit, they have the pieces in place that can do this. But it's going to be a very tall order to take out Sweep OD. Especially, and you might agree with me, if it's just the game, it's 50-50. But it's a lot of stuff, a lot of shenanigans are taking place outside of the game, and I don't know if that might get into the heads of the Damage Step team. What do you think about that matchup?
You have to lean towards Sweep OD winning this. But I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty high up on Fancy Diesel, so he's pretty good. They have good players on Damage Step. Sweep's just probably just better, and they've shown it a bit better here. Honestly, I just want to see KP versus Soul just for the drama and the memes.
Yeah,
I think that would, just for the culture of the Warleague format, that just sounds hilarious to me.
I think that's what the culture needs, a Soul KP matchup after the.
I mean, even if the matchup is boring as hell and the gameplay is garbage, like who cares? People just want to see some entertainment, so that sounds fun. But I'm gonna lead towards Sweep OD taking care of business decently. Easy.
I don't know. I think Damage Step. I think they can shock the world. I might have to. I'm gonna roll. I think I'm gonna roll with Damage Step. I'm rolling with Damage Step.
Oh,
I think
I'm doing it. Damage Step.
I'm rolling with Damage Step. I think they got something to prove. I think they're about to shock the world.
They're on the come up.
I think they're on the come up. I'm buying Damage Step, and I am selling.
Selling Sweep.
Sweep. Because just based on how stuff's been going in the first 2 weeks, I don't like. I personally on a JD level, I kind of disagree with some of the stuff, the off the court stuff that's going on. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think Damage Step is really going to be in the lab. They got something to prove, and they're going to do everything they can to go ahead and secure a victory in this matchup. So I'm rolling with Damage Step. I think MMF might come off the bench on this one. I think he might.
Would be crazy.
I think they might have to tap in. They might have to call in the sub and bring in MMF and secure at least one victory, perhaps, and then we'll see what happens. But I think they might have some internal stuff they're working on. But if they can come and they're coming correct and they got their whole units and everybody's playing to their potential, I think Damage Step can walk away with a victory over the Sweep OD team, because they have shown that they can be vulnerable at times as well. But
yep, very true.
That is what do you, again, you at home, what do you think about those takes? Were they whack? Were they bad? If you agree with me, let me know. Make sure you go ahead and get into the comment section and talk about the Goatformat Warleague. I will put the link to the description as always. Mox, you got anything else you want to say as we sign off for this week?
No, I'm just looking forward to the future games. The league's been, for the most part, pretty good. There's some, I kind of agree with you in a sense. There's a little bit of some extra stuff that I find just to be a little extra. Like some of it's just like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's just like, what are you doing? So some of that's a little sus. But for the most part, the league's been super interesting, super fun. I've been having a great time with it. If anyone who watches the videos, you should tell us what you think are the matchups that are going to be good or fun to watch, or if you think that JDZ and I are just complete idiots, tell us that too, because that's funny. So yeah, we're down for it. We want to hear your guys' opinions. This sounds like we've been having fun. I want to hear what you guys think.
A billion percent. I would agree with that. I love to be wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If I said you're going to lose, prove me wrong. But I'm going to do everything I can to be proven correct. And again, as Moxie stated, this league is purely for camaraderie and joy. There will be a little bit of talk, but everyone has pretty thick skin, and we're all in this for the love of the game and the community at whole. So make sure you tune in to the Goatformat Warleague and get into the Discord. If you're not even on the team, you can definitely grab the FemStar roll and just look at and watch the games. They're all high-level ranked games. You can learn a lot. I know I've learned a lot and increased my skills so far. But with that, that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and shout out to the OGs, salute to the real ones. I'll see you next time. Peace.
See ya.